So Sheila, the craft beer cellar is located on Main Street in Plymouth, and in case you're wondering, they are having a advent calendar.
What does that mean?
You know what an advent calendar is?
No.
So,
Should I?
Yeah, it's a calendar that you keep track of the days leading up to Christmas. So on the first day of December, you open up the door, mark out the
I do
day,
know
and
what
you
those
keep-
are.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So they're doing a craft beer advent calendar. So there are 24 individually wrapped beers. So
What?
So every day leading up to Christmas, you unwrap a beer, you have beer to drink, and when you run out of beer, it's
Hold on, how do I be part of that?
How do you be part of that? Well, you go to the craft beer cellar.
I
and
need
get one.
to. Are you kidding
They
me?
are $75, and they'll be available through the end of the month. Yeah.
I'm sold.
Of course you are. It's a great idea. They did it last year, and they said they sold a ton, and they made up a bunch this year. So you can go
They're
down.
on Main Street. I'm very familiar with
so,
the bars on Main Street.
Well, you know where T-Bones is.
Yes.
Directly across the street is Main Street and Percy's.
Very familiar.
Yep. So
Yeah.
there's Main Street, there's Percy's, and then right next door to Percy's is the craft beer cellar.
Oh my god, I'm going.
Yeah. See. You
And how late are they open?
They're open till 10 o'clock. 10 to 10.
You don't put pressure on me. Don't let me forget.
I won't. I will bug you repeatedly and our listeners.
Oh.
So
You didn't have enough already.
The advent calendar is $75 for 24 beers, individually wrapped and numbered, so you can drink your way to Christmas.
That's the best idea I've ever heard in my whole entire life.
Oh yeah. And then
And a Christmas tree.
And one time in July you showed up in like full military guard.
Oh, yeah. America looking.
Yep. America.
America. Yeah, I'm just trying to go with the theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, October I had to go.
Creepy.
I mean, I could have gone without masks and scared the shit out of people, but I figured soften it, not scare them too much, and put masks on.
I don't know. That horse was creepy as hell.
Oh, yeah, that's why I was like, oh, I have a pretty good thing to do with this. And I've been trying to get that damn thing in a shoe for a while, and I'm like, I need it. I need something before Halloween, because it's so Halloweenish. You can't do that during Christmas time.
No. How did you?
I mean, you could.
So, all right. So we already started because that's how we do things.
We've already started?
And so.
So sneaky in here.
Yeah, we just creep up on
Is there a camera like on me, or
No,
is it
it's
just
not. It's just audio.
Yeah.
So, we're here at this is the Inebri-art podcast. Here at the I almost said craft beer cellar. We're at the New World Tavern this time. This is our home away from home where we do our life drawing, and we just concluded our life drawing here in this is October. I don't know when it's going on, so it could be a while. But we're here with Jennifer Evie with our model tonight.
Hey.
This is also a live podcast. If you have some people hanging out, listening to the podcast.
That person clapping, that was the one person that came out.
Actually, this is our biggest crowd we've ever had. So that's awesome. So Jennifer is probably the hardest working model I've seen. We've enlisted many models over the 3 years we've been doing this, and no one posts more consistently traveling and new pictures and photo shoots. But you also do a lot of other things, and you're involved with, sorry if I get this wrong, but it's Cinderella's?
Project Cinderella.
Project Cinderella.
Yep.
So can you tell us a little bit about what Project Cinderella is?
Yeah, sure. Project Cinderella is based out of the Just to Give charity in Acushnet, Mass. And the charity itself, they get about, let's say, like 10,000 pounds a week worth of donated goods. They mainly focus on children, so, books, school supplies, clothing, things of that nature. And for a while, they've just been getting a lot of gowns, cocktail dresses, and so they decided to make something, branch that out into Project Cinderella, which is just kind of an outlet for young girls who need dresses for prom, sweet 16s, quinceañeras, and they can't afford the gown or the formal accessories.
Right.
So what they do is, they invite a young lady over to the donation center, and they can pick whatever they want for free. And basically, what I do is I run the promotional photo shoots for them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
we'll
I've
take-
seen a bunch of stuff online.
Yeah, so, I pick out a few gowns, I do it once per month, and then round up models, makeup artists, photographers, and it's kind of like our own, like, fashionable volunteer work, if you will,
Yeah.
for the charity, and we do promotional images for them.
That's great. I mean,
And it just helps to really push the charity, lets girls know what's available in stock, and, I try to take women of all ethnicities, sizes, tattoos, blank canvas, everything in between.
Yeah.
Just so every girl can kind of relate and say, she can look great in that dress. Shit, I can too.
Right. Right. And that's an awesome thing. Is people,
Yeah.
The opportunity to not feel like an outcast.
Yeah, it helps them, and it's great too for everyone who volunteers because it's free images for your portfolio to help you pursue.
So everyone benefits from it. That's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, how long have you been doing that?
A few years now.
Yeah.
Over 4 years. It's been a while.
Oh, yeah, we had the same thing. Last month, 2 months ago was our 3-year anniversary here in Hawaii.
Yeah, when you said that, I was like,
it
oh, it's
goes
been
by
that long
so
already.
fast. I mean, we spent 2 years trying to get you back here.
I know, yeah.
So, yeah, we should work on a date before we go.
We really should.
Yes, absolutely. So, for our listeners, people were just leaving here like 5-10 minutes ago, and they're like, "Oh, she's my favorite so far." So,
Stop it.
oh, come on. So you had Project Cinderella, and you do wardrobe design. Is that the correct term?
Yeah, the business name is Evie's Closet, and I provide wardrobe styling or just rental, creative directing, space rental as well.
So is this for like plays or
A little bit of
photo
everything.
shoots?
I've had people involved in theater who need wardrobe. They've given me a call, photographers for large group shoots, they with all the clothing and accessories, or models who contact me personally for their own private photo shoots. So a little bit of everything, and even just people who just want to look better than the bride at that person's wedding, for example. Give me a call
Nice.
and dynamite.
So you just have like one ridiculous storage unit.
Oh my gosh! I've always said when the day comes that I retire, I'm gonna have one hell of a yard sale. It's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
Everything must go.
So you
But
like-
until then, it's mine.
I mean, we were just talking about like how you have cool props for our listeners. She had this creepy ass horse head skeletal.
Like a 3-footer horse head. give or
Yeah. And she wore it for the laughs around trying to post pictures on the Facebook page. But how did you have that made? Like, where did you come across someone with that? Like, where do you find?
The fun thing about the wardrobe business is the majority of the stuff I have in inventory has been just hand-me-downs, just people looking to get rid of things.
Yeah.
And now I've just been, like, I don't know, I'm like my own savers. So I have, friends or their relatives are like, hey, that girl that does wardrobe here, give her all this shit. I don't need it anymore. And that kind of was the result of that, just in bartering and, this person could use a few furs and I could use that for something. And that something happened to be today. Yeah, so that's the great thing about the business is most of it has been just kind of free merchandise, and I've just it's all been profit in the end. But at the same time, my pricing is like really reasonable, just because just a few bucks. You want to rent that for the day, scare the shit out of someone. Take a picture of it for me, tag me in it.
I was gonna say I don't know if that at my house. It's creepy. So like what's kind of looking for you, kid? Where you foresee Evie's Closet in the future? Like, there's a lot of movie stuff going on around here. Get hooked up with the studio and want to work with that, or
I really enjoy kind of dabbling in everything.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'd love to jump on more into theater or movies and things like that, and even just with everyday people, just wanting that nice outfit to wear out to an event. I want this business just to kind of branch out so that everyone can kind of take something out of it.
And like that's kind of like an iron in the fire, like everywhere. It's like, I'm doing this thing.
Yep.
Just kind of get pulled in every direction. And so, but you travel to do photo shoots. And
Yes, I do.
So that's got to be a fairly interesting experience. Like, what's the furthest you've gone to do a photo shoot?
Furthest I've gone, let's see, I think Buffalo. looking the furthest that I've done. For the most part, I stay around the New England area in New York State and New Jersey.
Yeah.
They,
Kind of
I
Massachusetts,
make
New York.
Yeah.
Sorry, New England and New York.
New England, New York, New Jersey, and even for wardrobe, because sometimes when I put my modeling travels out there, some people will, like, oh, you're going to be around, can I borrow a wedding gown?
Yeah.
Something like that. So it's nice, it's a lot of fun. Keeps me on my toes. It's always different.
What's the weirdest thing in your Eve's closet?
Oh man, the
There's
weirdest.
gotta be something that you're just like, oh.
The weirdest thing?
Yeah.
On top of that.
Yeah, besides the 3-foot-4 set.
Besides
I suppose that's a weird
set.
question after that.
Yeah. I really don't know if anything else really tops that.
What about like what's the most requested?
The most requested thing, a lot of vintage has been my forte, it seems, with models.
Well, what
a lot
era?
of like, Great
1920s?
Gatsby.
1920s?
Yeah, that
The
kind
flapper,
of era, flappers, exactly. Yeah. That's big in demand. Obviously, like in the summertime, there's a lot of beach-related stuff. So, and then when the cold weather comes in, and I do a lot of I do like Christmas group shoot, things like that, with the props. Kind of like some of the props that I brought in the first time around. Yeah, things like that. But yeah, I have a little bit of everything. So like furs, and I dress women from a size 0 to a size 22.
Yeah.
So it's not just wardrobe that fits me.
It's whatever.
It's any woman. I got you.
Well, so you fit women from 0 to 20, size 22, but what about men's clothing?
You guys are kind of on your own.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
sexist, yeah.
well, I mean, if you want to borrow a dress, why not? Borrow it.
First of all,
It's there for you. I don't discriminate.
I like Dan Gimmick, but that's not quite what I meant.
And I can fit you. You look like you'd be, 18, give or take.
I've been eating a lot of salads.
Okay, trying to get down to like 14.
Yeah, trying to
Keep the curve.
You
We love curve.
I'm looking ahead for like my next year's.
Winter's coming too, so you might want to keep that. You might want to keep that,
Yeah. So you don't do like men's clothing.
Um,
Clothing meant for.
Well,
How about that?
I do have some like men's clothing. I do have a few articles of clothing, but I mean, the women usually call dibs on it, and they'll wear it. Just
Right.
because anything can be used. I mean, it doesn't. A men's leather jacket doesn't have to be just primarily used for that.
Yeah, I understand that,
So
but
yeah.
you don't just like.
For the majority. Oh my gosh, I have enough shit. You know how much more shit I have if I decided to go with the men's, like, and just start raging out.
Do you hit like a lot of thrift stores?
Oh.
So there used to be this place in Cambridge, this experience clothing in there.
No.
Oh.
Tell me more.
So it's in Cambridge near Harvard Square. And my favorite thing I ever got there was a Wells Fargo jacket.
Ha!
So like the Armored Car Service jacket, and so I got it.
Okay, you know
like
what?
$20.
Now you just have me remembering the one item I do have. Well, I don't have it anymore because I traded it. The one item that I did have that was a bit weird was a New Kids on the Block tour denim jacket.
Yeah, tour denim jacket.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't remember. I forget where.
That's a little. But that's kind of like that's fairly local friendly. They're from.
Yeah, true. But I mean, I don't know if you want to wear that around here.
Hey, no.
Oh.
It wouldn't match with the dress that you're gonna.
You never know. You don't know what I have up my sleeve for you. I got some style for you.
So what's your who's your favorite photographer to work with? What's your favorite photo shoot that's been on?
Oh man. Well, my favorite photo shoot.
Because it seems like every other week you're posting dozens of photos.
I have so many so many great memories from photo shoots. Like one, if I like a recent one, if I had to choose, would be a tribal shoot I just did. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, I did see the photos for that.
Yeah,
that was pretty great.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And there was that weird like funky backpack thing.
Yes, I took
it kind of reminded me of Wilson a little bit.
She designed it. I actually, yeah. It was, I found a few things at a yard sale. I found the mask in general. I dolled it up a little, added straps to it.
And it had things coming on.
Yeah, that is actually, I went to AC Moore and I bought some cinnamon scented brooms. And so I cut the end of the cinnamon scented brooms, and that's where you get the trim on the edge.
So did it smell good?
So as nasty looking as I was smelling fantastic.
Because you're pretty much
I
covered
smelled
in
like
mud
big red
and-
chewing gum the entire time,
Nice.
even in my car.
So it's funny that you bring up that like planes look nasty, they look great in that photo shoot. I contacted you the first time like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Probably through Facebook, and it was some creepy ass photo shoot.
Which one?
I know. I can't remember what, but it was like.
Did I have a beard?
No.
Because I was going to go with the bearded lady.
You were kind of covered in gore.
Oh,
So, and it was,
What? It was
and it was like, what she looked like? I'm like, I'm not really sure.
she looked messy.
She's kind of bloody.
Underneath
covered in
all that.
Gore and
Okay, I think, was there like a kind of crouch covered in blood?
yeah, you were kind of crouched down, like cowering almost.
That was in a bathtub, someone's little bathtub in Connecticut.
So there was a lot of that night waiting for someone to walk through the door, and I'm like, I have no idea what this person's going to look like. And then you were actually, you can refer to us. We contacted Robin Bristol.
Yes.
And she's like, oh, tell me a little bit more. And I was looking at her photos, and I'm like, oh, maybe you should just ask Jennifer Evie. She's like, oh my god, I'm Jennifer, and I know who you guys are. So you can help us out, kind of,
Oh.
by name dropping in.
Happy
with
to
your
help.
thing.
I'm a networking force, so I've networked the shit out of you guys.
I mean, that's like what I do. It's just kind of shaking.
You have to. It's like politics, I swear.
It is the thing to do when you spend half your time. I mean, I just recently got in contact with some emails and sent out I think like a year ago where I did. Like, we'll move this done by 2 weeks, and I'm like, great. And it happens all the time with Inebri-art. I think people show up and like, how'd you hear about it? And it's like, oh, so and so. I don't know who that person is.
Yeah, that's great. Even like with like Project Cinderella, I've had a couple models from Europe. Like, oh, I've heard about the charity and I'm going to be in the States. I really don't need them all. And I'm like, how the hell did you hear about me?
And to me, that's
on the other side of the Atlantic.
That's like the coolest feeling. Is like,
Oh, yeah.
Is it just kind of gets out. And so, where can people see your work? So I know you're on Model Man,
Yes.
which for our listeners who don't know is a website that matches models and artists and photographers
Yeah.
not together.
It's mainly for members only, so you can only see so much.
Yes, I know.
You can find like my wardrobe and creative directing stuff on Evie's Closet on Facebook and even on Model Man too. And there's another page, Model Society. If you look up Jennifer Evie there, you can see a lot of my work, and I saw a lot of prints through there too.
Oh, nice.
So you get a little
And
bit
so
of everything.
Model Society's website?
Yeah, modelsociety.com.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and just enter Jennifer Evie and just kind of get an idea of the crazy shit I've done.
Nice. So, like we were talking about having to book you for another day, and you always have shit lined up. So what's next? Where are you jetting off to? Where are you? What vlog are you going deep in?
I was just over.
I said, what vlog you're going to be eating?
I was
And
over
all
in
of a sudden
some
you're
mud
like,
just the other day. Just the other day, I was in some mud. I mean, I wasn't in it. I was covering wardrobe for the young lady. But it was funny because she got stuck, and I tried to get her out, and I ended up
There
getting stuck in
seems
the
to be a lot
process.
of mud shoots going on with our models, friends of ours. I see that a lot. Is that like a trend?
The whole
What is
damsel
that?
in distress
Is
kind
that-
of
is that what that
fetish.
is?
Yeah. Because some people think, some people, when they hear the word fetish, they think like, I don't know, something that involves sex and probably something that's like 9 inches or bigger. But usually, I mean, you'd be surprised, quicksand is
Well,
considered a fetish,
that's what I'm
you
saying.
know?
Is like
And the struggle.
we use a lot of models, and like I've seen a ton of that. They're out in a evening gown, knee deep in mud.
Yep,
It's-
and I just trashed a $300 dress yesterday. All for the sake of art, It's fun. I love it, If it's going to get put to use, I mean, I don't do whatever you need to do with it. And it's funny too because there's been a couple of models that have worked with you guys that I've worked with for wardrobe modeling, or the same photographers that do the quicksand stuff.
Sarah Michelle.
Yep, Sarah Michelle, Amber.
Amber has been posting stuff, And it's I don't know if tight is the right word, but it's very connected.
Yeah.
You know, like you see one person and they'll post someone else's picture. And
Mhm.
it's great.
It's a small world.
So, me being dad of a young girl,
Yeah.
yeah, 12, on her 12th birthday. Dad, I have a boyfriend. Yeah.
There you go.
And I was like, so, a young girl wanting to get into the modeling industry, I'm sure can be super hazardous. Give them some advice, like where?
Be firm, be fearless. Don't take. You really like this kind of business. I can't fucking talk right now. But you really do have to be firm, you know, with your standards, you know, what your goal is. You can't let things, you know, like rejection and things like that get in your way, because a lot of girls that get started, you know, they get denied a shoot, and, you know, after a few times, that's it, they give up. And you really got to push through that.
Yeah.
You know, I get many gigs. There's many gigs that I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you just keep at it and keep your work consistent.
Yeah.
And the thing that also helps too is, you know, to not just have a cute face, but to have an imagination along with that.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And of course, you know, dad for here, you should not feel bad about saying no.
Oh, absolutely.
If you don't feel comfortable, you know, don't stay for paying gig.
No, yeah. I've been lucky enough to, you know, have good experiences with people, with photographers and such. And there's been many instances where I hear a story from a model who has had a really bad experience with a photographer, but my experience is good. And someone told me not long ago, and the best way to describe it is like, you're kind of like a Gordon Ramsay of modeling, because you're just
This
like,
is shit!
yeah, like, you know, like, what the fuck did you call me? You know, like, but you have to kind of have that mindset that, like, zero tolerance, you have to be firm, you have to know what you want, and, you know, if someone tries to pull a fast one, you know, but whatever reason, you know, you put your foot down, you know, you know what you're worth, your self-worth.
You should feel it.
Exactly, yeah, you really do, and some, you know, I hear stories sometimes, and that's not the case with some models.
Yeah. And to me, because that's the thing, like, when the models come here to pose for us, they're doing us a favor, you know, so if you want something to eat, drink, you know, it's time's work for you, you tell me what you need. And,
but I've had a couple, the only bad experiences that I've had, they haven't gotten past the phone call with me.
I was waiting for like a proper body.
Yeah. No, see, like, it doesn't even get to like an in-person offense, you know, it's just, they give themselves enough miles away from me.
It's one of those, like, you get a bad feeling and it feels skeevy and proud of you.
Yeah, but I gotta say though, all the good apples outweigh the bad ones.
Yeah.
I've only had out of the several years that I've been doing this, I've had very few instances, and like I said, it hasn't gone past a phone call. I mean, not to say, you know, some models, you know, red flags in their face, but they're afraid to offend the one that's offended them.
Exactly, yeah. And that's kind of what I'm saying, is like you need to feel like you're in control.
Yeah, oh
like,
yeah,
if you feel
absolutely.
weird, you need to say no.
Because, unfortunately with this line of work, some people think they can talk or act a certain way.
Yeah.
Just because of the line of work they do, especially if you do look work. And I'm here to disappoint those people heavily. You know, just because, I mean, maybe it's because I run a business, my house sitting business, and I do the wardrobe and stuff, so I have that business sense, so I know when you're talking to me a certain way or handling it a certain way that's unprofessional, that's out of that business realm, I'm going to say something.
You cross the line.
Yeah, because I'm firm with, you know, the business relationship, you know. And like I said, with this line of work, some people, you know, will say something that in their second job they wouldn't dare say to
absolutely, yeah.
like, you know, a coworker or something. So, you know, and I just have that zero tolerance, and you know, and you just move on. You just, thank you for your time, but I'll pass, and then you just move on, and you just keep that confidence in your mind that, there's more to come down the road.
Yeah.
That's not it. That's not
Yeah, it's never the last job.
Exactly, yeah. You just have to maintain that.
And so, since we're talking about like where you draw the lines, what's acceptable and what isn't acceptable, are there pets that you don't pet to?
Horses, actually.
Oh, horses aren't pets.
I know pets and horses.
So it's not like, oh, iguanas are off the list.
If it can't cuddle in bed with me, I'm not really interested.
So, like,
I'll take the iguana. The iguana can cuddle in bed with me.
I don't know.
But the horse, unless it's like a miniature, I don't know.
Like
But
a Shetland
if it's like the size of a Great Dane, I might consider it. But
Yeah.
no, that's so funny. Yeah, horses. I've watched goats. Farm animals. I had someone contact me about an 80-pound tortoise. I was in a field, unfortunately.
I was going to say that
totally would have taken
that
that
seems like
job.
a super easy job.
Super easy job, just sitting on the
Been
little
like,
bastard.
Don't go
watching
that
my-
way. Well, I got to get 20
watching my
minutes before I get the
stories.
tunnel. Yeah.
While I scratch the shell out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what you scratch out
I'm
of
not
it.
here. Yeah. Like, how do you cut a turtle? Just knock on.
And the bees!
And you have to take care of like parrots or anything.
Birds are another thing. I
I feel
don't know
like
if I do
birds can be
birds.
like really annoying.
Birds are, I don't know. I don't feel them.
Yeah.
I've watched enough Alfred Hitchcock to, yeah.
So, I was giving my kids a hard time this week. They got a new dog, and I would do air quotes if our listeners could see that. It's a what is it called?
Pomeranian?
Pomeranian! Yes!
And it's like, I don't know, hedgehog size.
I used to have them. Excuse me,
I mean, it's cute,
No,
but
no.
it's like barely dog.
yeah. I have a couple of Pomeranian clients. They're
So, and I'm not saying you should, be more judgmental of your clients, but they always seem to be the ones getting away are getting you to draw.
no, it's specifically
So if
one
you
who
wanna
likes
throw-
to book me in the evening.
So if you want to throw them out, then that's cool.
That client actually, she booked me all the way into the end of January. Just a heads up.
The whole year?
Yeah.
Oh, well, actually,
All my weekdays.
we are booked through. We probably looking to get you back like that.
Oh, perfect. If we could do February.
Oh, we'll do February. All
Let's
right.
do February.
We have it on recording.
February! First Monday!
First Monday. Monday. So then the first Monday, whatever the heck that day happens.
I don't know what animal head I'll have that time, but...
It has to be Valentine's Day.
Okay, so Cupid.
And romantic.
And arrows.
Yeah.
And I'll go flower petals all over people.
There you go.
And drinks, making love.
So you model, you wardrobe, you pet sit,
And I
what-
direct.
and you direct. What else? Is that all? I don't want to say what do you do front sales. I was like, what do you do to kind of
I do like, I don't know, have you ever seen Seinfeld? You watch Seinfeld? You know, like the summer of George where he's in his underwear eating a block of cheese?
Each, so yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of my good time, my definition of a
You
good
hang out
time.
and
Right?
eat cheese?
It's like, no dogs, no cameras, boxers for the sports club, catching up on some movies. I'm not eating cheese necessarily, but I'm eating a lot of snacks.
So
Probably
like it-
Slim Jims and Twizzlers.
I don't know.
You know.
So you Netflix man. So what are you watching on Netflix?
Oh my goodness.
I'm watching Peaky Blinders, which if you haven't watched, totally check it out.
My Netflix categories, it's mainly like, crime documentaries, horror, gory horror.
Are you like one of those people that if someone looked at them like she's planning to kill someone?
Something like, yeah. I trust you when I show you my Netflix account and my music playlist because there's something that's going to annoy you and scare the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Something.
It's-
Most of it, too.
It's like those oxygen women's movies that are like, oh, she kills her husband who's been beating her.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah, those are
more like directed by like, I don't know, Eli Roth or something like that. So more like of a gory kind of. Not that Lifetime.
No.
Candace Cameron stars as, none of that stuff.
So, well, like, what are you watching?
Oh, okay. See, I'm big on like horror movies, that like anthology horror movies. I love that kind of stuff, especially the old stuff. Like I just banged out all Hellraisers just the other week. Creep Show is like one of my favorite horror movies ever.
That's the one where Stephen King's like the guy
Yes.
that's like covered by
Rose
the moss.
and Weeds and stuff. Yes, I love that movie.
I love that. I haven't seen that in ages.
I'm
Those
surprised.
people are on the dock, right?
Yep. Yes. Oh, I'm gonna watch that one again.
Have you seen Stranger Things?
I have not seen that yet.
What is wrong with you?
I have not, and it's it's one of those recommended things.
But this is the thing: is like you might be too. Well, you're gonna enjoy it. It's good, but you might be too young to miss out on like the best parts of it because it scared the shit out of me because it kind of like coats that 11-year-old Andy that was watching something that he wasn't supposed to be watching.
Yes.
Because it was
That's
such
great
a
though.
throwback
It's
to the 80s.
nostalgic.
Oh, it was
Takes
like,
you
it
back
was scary.
to that moment where you
Yeah.
shouldn't be watching, but you're watching
Oh,
it.
it's so good.
When I was a kid, I wasn't. My favorite movie wasn't like The Little Mermaid. It was like Lord of the Flies. When I was like 8 years old, and all my classmates were like, "What the hell?" Well, maybe not that.
It was more of like a Henson version of it.
Oh yeah, Labyrinth and all that stuff. That's the kind of. I think that kind of reminds me, of course, of like a lost Jim Henson character somewhere.
When you were on, I don't know if you heard me because you had it on, but I was like, has anyone seen Time Bandits? Have you seen Time Bandits? It's like this. The guards have like these giant corsets and they're like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
And that kind of triggered that,
I figured, between that and the outfit,
Yeah.
I think you guys, 20 minutes, that's a lot to draw.
No, it's great. We got some fantastic.
I don't think I might have asbestos after breathing all that in, but.
Did you
Just
specify? Did an artist make that or like who made that?
The artist, his name is Christian Sherman. He does a lot of props. He attends a lot of the Comic Cons and things like that.
Yeah.
Does his own costumes, builds
like
them from
cosplay
scratch.
stuff,
And he was looking to get rid of that to sell it. But I actually had some closet merchandise that
You traded him some nice dresses?
Yeah. He was I know, like, he was going through a couple things, and he's like, oh my God, I would love this. And like, take whatever you need.
Cool, yeah.
Whatever you need for that for us, because I want to, put that to use. I have an idea for another shoot with it. I'm hoping to do it before Halloween. Something outdoors, risque. I always seem to come up with really good outdoor ideas during the cold year. I don't know why that is.
So this seems to be something that I'm always curious about. I see a lot of models doing photo shoots in buildings that are clearly condemned, or so I'm assuming there aren't always permission for that. Like, how does that work? Like, how do you find those locations? Do you bother getting permission, or is it more like I'll ask for forgiveness instead of permission kind of thing? Because that's generally how I do things. I generally ask for forgiveness.
Well, a lot of times, when I come across abandoned areas, I do try and, make phone calls. There's been a couple times where, I've had to call, the town hall, wherever, and inquire who owns it.
Building?
Even, there's a spot in the town area, and I haven't used it yet, but they had, a town hall meeting for my permission to use it.
Oh, wow.
And it was approved.
I feel like a lot of people wouldn't go through the trouble of that.
Yeah, no, some don't.
Jump the fence.
There's a couple of places where I know that it's been used enough, and as long as you're not in their way, they're fine with it, Especially if you're doing a nude shoot, and they're just like, oh, why don't you do it? But I've never had an issue. I'm always the type though to try and inquire, who owns the property.
You try to get the okay first.
Yeah, and there's been instances where I've inquired and they've declined.
Yeah.
That's understandable. Even if I'm like, let's sign a waiver so you're not responsible for any injuries or deaths.
Which is what they're always worried about.
Exactly. And that's understandable. understandable because, you know, some places I go in, I'll bring like a stick and bang on the floor. And,
I've seen some pretty
and
shady
the
buildings.
stick kind of goes right through. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
that place is closed off.
I've seen some shady photo shoots where you're just like, that can't be a legit building.
I have one issue where a girl fell halfway.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. More
So you like test the floor and you stay and you didn't listen, or?
Yeah, it's just like a threshold, and it's like I'd stay away from this area and just kind of work your way around, and shoot's finished, and just walk through and then just waste.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that was the last time we used that house. Too.
Yeah. But luckily you haven't had anybody get her.
No, I haven't had any issues, thankfully. So, and I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
She laughed,
Well,
you know,
that's
weeks
one of the,
later
and I hate
about
to say
it.
it, but those are the most interesting stories. Is
Yeah.
when shit goes wrong. So that's awesome.
It's fun. I mean, it's like before I started doing all this stuff, you know, just like working retail, working food, and things like that. The repetition, it drives me nuts. In this, like, all these different avenues of work, you know, it's always something different. Traveling to different places, meeting different people, rubbing dogs' bellies, keeping the blood pressure down, all that fun stuff.
The dogs are good.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be the occasional one. Dog.
And unfortunately, it's the small breeds.
Is it?
Yeah, it's more.
You know what's funny is I've had small dogs and I've had big dogs recently, and I feel like there's less need to train a small dog.
Exactly.
Where you're like, yeah,
You
just
treat it
pick
more.
it up.
People treat it more as an accessory
Yeah.
than an actual dog,
Yeah.
you know? And so that
Like, I've had
kind
a lot of
of.
small dogs, and I never taught any of them to sit.
See, exactly.
I did it, because
Yeah.
they got too annoying, you just pick them up.
That's
it.
Stay here.
Yeah.
Stay. You have no choice but to stay.
Exactly. I am bigger than you, I will take
You're the
it.
master.
Yeah.
Even though I can't tell you to sit, but I'm your master.
And then you get to the bigger dogs, and you're like, oh, shit. If you don't listen, it's going to be a problem.
Can't carry you, do you?
Yeah. Do you have a favorite dog breed?
I like Dobermans.
Really?
I'm a Doberman girl. I grew up with one when I was 10. We got our Doberman. Loved them ever since.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple. It's a lot of fun too, just because you meet breeds you wouldn't normally run into unless you're at like a dog show or something, for instance. So that's really fun.
My boss recently got a Greater Swiss Mount.
Yep.
Which I've never heard of. But
Oh, big guy.
yeah, well, he's not yet. He's
Not
puppy,
yet.
But he's pretty big for a puppy. Probably 30% smaller than full-grown.
And it's a male,
dogs.
so it's gonna be big.
Oh, they're estimating like 100 pounds.
Woo!
Yeah, and he's just all go and no skills.
Yeah,
so
he's
he's so cute. Yeah, his name's Kevin. Kevin. Well, that's why she named him.
What, was that commercial?
No, after Home Alone.
Home Alone.
So
oh
she's
my
like, when I
gosh.
get mad at her, I'm like,
Keep it
so,
pulling out.
so that's, yeah.
The funny thing is though, like, when it comes to me and work, I try not to bring my work home with me, even though, like, dog sitting, I work from home
I was gonna
sometimes.
say, like, how.
But like, when it comes
You
to
don't
like,
bring them home with you.
I love dog sitting, but at the same time, I'd love to get a cat
Really?
when the time comes.
Yeah.
See, I don't have any pets just
Yeah.
because
Did you have everybody else?
Yeah, I would need a dog sitter to dog sit, and that just defeats the whole purpose of the business.
Right.
But I've always been like, yeah, like when the time comes that I decide to get a pet, I'm probably gonna get a cat.
Not a cat person. I do not. Yeah.
And even like with the wardrobe business, I mean, I'll dress nice for the job. You know, they don't want to see me in my home suits and boxes or anything like that. But like,
Are you like?
I try, but otherwise I dress down as much as possible.
You be like a crazy cat lady with like 15 gas.
I might be.
Hanging up your sweats.
I might be, yeah.
As long as you don't start like freezing the dead.
Telling the
If you start
neighbors,
freezing the dead ones, that's like.
telling the neighborhood kids what I used to do. I used to mow. Like, yeah, sure you did, Ms. Evie. It's just crazy over there.
Yeah, but at that point they'll be
She
able
still
to
has my football.
at that point they'll be able to like Google you on their brain.
Oh, yeah.
Cybernetic implants again.
Oh, gosh. That's kind of already happening.
Yeah.
In some cases.
So, do you ever feel there's like any problems with overlap between like your dog sitting and your modeling career? Is that a different?
No, and
Like creepy stalkers, is that ever?
no, I haven't had any issues with that. Most of my modeling pages, like my Facebook one, for
Yeah.
instance, as you see, it's a private, like I keep it on a private account just to keep all those creepy trolls, like leaving those creepy comments and things like that. Like,
Yeah, once again.
I haven't needed, I haven't needed anything like, that, like a public page to promote myself, thankfully, so I don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. But, yeah.
I was just asking if you like run into issues with like
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about, the fun thing about the pet sitting, because I actually, my business branches out in Massarada and Connecticut. So on occasions when, for example, I'm spending a week in Connecticut, I'll put a travel notice out to photographers that I'm in the area.
Yep.
And,
Oh, so you
sometimes
go
I'll
something
pick
like
up work while
you're
I'm
outside.
working, yeah.
Which, I mean, that's kind of like the best part. So
Yeah.
It was like double dipping.
I mean, for the most part, there's some dogs with special needs, separation anxiety issues that can't be
Special
alone.
needs dogs?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, and that can't be alone for so long.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But for the most part, I mean, I don't need to be attached to their hip
Right.
the entire time. So I can step out and, a couple hours of a shoot in the area and maybe a little more and come back and see where I left off with the dog and all is right with the world.
So, the one thing, I'm trying to touch on that loosely, the one thing we're going to talk about on this podcast kind of at the end is one thing that you're watching, reading, listening to that kind of inspires you from something that you always on your iPod or binge watching or reading and other people to check out.
I wish I had time to just sit and read something. Oh, those days. I remember those days.
Was there something from the past that you're like, that kind of, you always think back to?
In regards to reading or
Reading,
just
the movie, music, anything that kind of inspires that creative side.
The weirdest things inspire me.
Yeah.
I did a shoot a while back actually. I don't know if you ever saw it. I had feathers and honey and confetti and colorful background.
I don't know if I saw this. Was this the story about the chocolate on your elbow? I saw you post something about you were doing a shoot and then you were in a convenience store afterwards with chocolate under your elbow.
Oh, well, there's been a lot of situations where, I'm looking absolutely crazy, and I'm like, I need to get a cheeseburger with this, looking like this.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's
I saw that.
yeah, the bearded lady one, for example. After the shoot was over, I stopped at the CVS over in Dorchester.
That was full beard?
Beard and everything.
That was a pretty impressive
Lots of
beard.
Sour Patch Kids and some chips. And then we get a shawl of me eating the chips and the crumbs all in the beard and stuff.
Yeah, nice.
But the weirdest, I was saying, the weirdest things inspire me, like that one I was talking about with the honey and the feathers. I got that idea by watching the commercial on Faucets.
How did that
Everyone's cleaning stuff off their hands, and I'm like, oh, dirty hands and honey on the hands.
So how often do
Feathers
you,
on the hands. Confetti on the hands too. Fuck it, let's do that idea.
how often do you get an idea for a shoot that you call? Do you normally get an idea for a shoot and then call a photographer or the other way around?
I'll get an idea for a shoot and I'll write it down so I don't forget.
Yeah.
And because I try to creative work at least once a month. I try to do something, but actually this month I was supposed to use the horse head, but dog sitting called and for a week.
Do you wear the horse head while your dog's sitting?
I could.
I feel like
I'd be
dog freak
creating
out.
some dog I don't know if they want me back. Just scare my dog while I'm going, get it! But yeah, I was supposed to plan. I tried to have that little creative outlet once a month, and just kind of do any ideas that I've had written down. The tribal one is one of those examples. I have a couple other projects coming up, and it's nice too because there's some photographers who have ideas already in mind that work with what I want to do. So just kind of modify it, mention my thoughts on it, and
so it's like a collaborative work.
yeah.
Nice.
So I mean, I've been very grateful with just how the business has gone over the years.
Yeah.
Very grateful for that.
Well, I mean, you clearly work really hard at it. I think the people who struggle the most tend to not work. I don't say that because that's.
No, I agree with you because.
I feel like there's a lot of people like, oh, that person's so lucky. It's like, it's not luck.
And that's the thing. Someone always assume I have a cute face, so I'm just going to sit here and wait for everything just to fall in my lap.
Yeah.
And that's not the case.
Yeah.
It might be the case when you first start because, like you're like that new stripper at the strip club, new face. Oh, everybody wants her.
Right.
And then that buzz
Kind of dies
disappears,
down.
and now it's up to you to kind of keep yourself in the loop and stay active. And I have a lot of people contacting me, photographers. It's like, I see you work all the time. You're consistent. I can tell you enjoy what you do. You're very active with it. You have your own ideas. You're very reliable. And it definitely
It all
helps.
goes back to that network.
It does.
Because if you're a creative person, what you want at the end of the day is good work that you can look back on.
Exactly.
And very much in your avenue, you are also kind of relying on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to work with the same people that have the same ideas.
Absolutely. And, I've been lucky too, with all the work that I do is paid, and when I...
Wait, we're supposed to pay you?
Yeah, they're supposed to fucking pay me.
Oh, shit.
Oh! Show's over! But, I mean, just to have that opportunity to, make a living out of this, these cookie ideas and stuff, and people
To
like
me,
that.
it's the most fun part.
And with that too, photographers will, see my prior work and it's like, well, if she's willing to do that and she can pull that off nicely, then what I have in store for her, something tells me she'll be able to take that on with ease. So, and and that's the thing that I, models that I've befriended and stuff, for starting out.
Yeah.
I tell them, you have to stay relevant, you have to stay in the loop. You can't just sit there and hope that everything comes.
You can't wait for the work to come to you. You
you have to, and that's how it is with, my dog sitting business, my wardrobe
Pretty
business.
much everything.
Yeah, that's how it is when you're a small business.
It's like
owner.
Walmart doesn't, it may a little bit now, but at the beginning it doesn't wait for the customer and bring the customer. It's like anything else, you have to actively hunt those people.
Yep, I actually had a photographer over in Rochester, New York. We spoke recently, and he was saying, he's like, all right, he's like, now I get why some people hire paid models because the ones you don't pay just don't seem to take it as seriously as the ones.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, we're not trying to just take your money. I mean, we offer more than, we offer collaborations, creative ideas, at least the ones that are really in the business,
And you can tell the difference. I mean,
they offer more than just modeling, whether it's
we've been
makeup.
super lucky with our lifetime group that we have put together kind of a long list of very reliable, very good models that we can rely on. There are a couple that you're like, I don't really need to look at that person again.
Yeah, and when you're saying, but
some of it's just kind of almost, I don't want to say person, just they don't jive with what we're doing.
Yeah, and that happens. That happens with any line of business. I mean, but for the most part, the good outweigh the bad.
Yep. Oh yeah.
In your
Oh,
situation. And that happens with
99% of
everything. And you just, work through that.
I mean, you're alright.
Yeah,
You'll make it someday.
Yeah.
I guess whatever.
They'll probably call the horse before they call me that.
Is the horse free?
Is the horse available for the model that we have?
The horse was super still. It didn't move at all.
Yep.
So we had a question there earlier. And so I'm going to ask another one. Is there a artist, musician, something kind of throughout your life inspiring? Or is there like a model that you remember that like made you want to?
You know, it's funny, like, it was like music videos, because when I was a kid, I had like
Tony Tank?
I had the TV.
I had a thing for Tony Tank.
Yes, White Snake.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
The hood of the car? Sorry.
I'm feeling. I love that song. But it was stuff like that. Honestly, like just visual. When I was a kid, I had a TV in my bedroom when MTV actually played music videos.
Yeah.
So like when I would come home from school, I'm like 7, 8, I'd put it on and just watch like all this beauty, all these women, you know. And I mean, it's nothing like music videos nowadays.
They still make music videos for that?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
maybe.
like between the hours of like 11 and 2 a.m. You know, like you might catch a video, but for the most part, I think I don't know. These other avenues besides, I don't know, music channels.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Like the YouTube.
But yeah, like videos, like I remember like a couple George Michael videos that used models, and it's just like, oh my.
Yeah, he's a pretty good one. Yeah, I remember some of his videos.
This is a lot for you. So is Lord of the Flies, so
He must have some interesting viewing.
my parents wait, she took the movie and hid it, yeah. I didn't allow her to take it.
So again, where can people find your prints? You mentioned that briefly.
Modelsociety.com.
Okay.
Look up Jennifer Evie. And a good portion of
EVI.
EVI, yep. And a good portion of prints are available, new, non-new, comical, horror, underwater, pin-up, vintage, lingerie, a little bit of everything. I always have, there'll always be something in my portfolio for everyone to be like, and then, ooh. But I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I want most of my work, whether it offends you or you enjoy it, you remember it.
Yeah.
It's not just another forgettable shoot that you just everyday shoot.
It doesn't have to be for everybody, but
no, but as long as you freaking remember it, and it just whether it drove a nail into you or it just made you feel good.
Yeah.
Done my job.
So for our listeners, we do our live drawing here at the New World Tavern the first Monday of every month. Unless it's a holiday, we go on the next Monday. And if you like listening to Jennifer Evie, you can come check her out in February. So I'm going to put that on right now. The first Monday in February, she'll be back here to do some live drawing at 7 p.m. at the New World Tavern here in Plymouth. And Jennifer, thank you. It was an absolute pleasure.
I'll paint the horse head red for the February one. How's that?
Some like lace.
Yeah, some doilies and all that stuff.
That'll work. And thanks again.
Thank you for having me. This is a great time.